Hello everyone, and oh crafter my crafter, L2 is full to bursting with newfound knowledge. Knowledge which she simply must share. Ah, I've been waiting for you. Who better to tell of my studies than the very man who set me on the course to enlightenment. My knowledge of mankind's histories has grown by leaps and bounds, in expert part thanks to hot dogs expert. I need to say that right. Expert instruction. L2 is too kind. She has told me much of dragonkind in turn, but I could hardly call myself the teacher in this arrangement. In fact, the time may soon come to put ink to parchment and begin my chronicles. And we all await that day with bated breath. Hot along has not been my only teacher. The sea itself has lessons abound for those who would observe them. Seeing its splendor with my own eyes has made clear one inalienable? I've never heard that phrase before. Inalienable difference between man and dragon. I speak, of course, of your kind's love of tinkering, building and crafting. And what a wonderful thing it is to behold. Where dragons are wont to tear down obstacles with fanging claws, humans tear them down with hammer and chisel, or else find an ingenious way around them entirely. By using tools tailored to specific tasks, you overcome your natural deficiencies. One tool will be used to wrest precious materials from the earth, and another to transform them into something greater than the sum of its parts. I find the whole process rather fascinating. While I gaze upon the towering spires of the city, I imagine a roost built with my own claws, larger even than the ones my sire calls home. I am eager to see my dreams realised as quickly as possible. Hot along advises against rushing into such an endeavour unprepared. He claims that to do so would lead to abject failure and possibly personal injury. You, however, are an expert artisan, and I would be honoured if you were to take... Oh my god, my brain died there. I would be honoured if you were to take me under your wing and teach me the art of making. I swear to be a dutiful study, and even should this day pass it the next, I won't rest until I've mastered even the most esoteric of skills. Well then, I believe we have an agreement. I can start right this moment if it pleases you. Now, L2, you know as well as anyone how busy our dear friend is. And I also fear you may have misjudged just how long it takes to truly become a master craftsman. You mean it will take more than a day? I knew that, of course. I'd only hoped against hope that he had no appointments to save the world for the foreseeable future. Alas, my enthusiasm may have gotten the better of me. Don't fret, L2. He may still be able to help in some capacity. Perhaps if you could introduce us to a crafter with both the time and inclination to teach. Ooh, I know of one. I expect that one of the many artisans around the firmament would be willing to lend us their expertise, although you are in a far better position to judge their suitability than either of us. We shall look forward to meeting your mentor-to-be. Well, I would have guessed Master Law. I suppose there are countless others who are more deserving of your attention than me. If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could introduce Elto and I to a crafter who is willing to pass down their knowledge. Elto holds your opinion in high regard, and I'm sure she would take any teacher who had your seal of approval. So again, that scrawny little dragonette wants to craft. What next? As much as the notion of having a dragon for a protege piques my interest, however, my speciality is working metal. Great big slabs of it. Well, when she's older, maybe there'd be a place for her, but as it stands, she'd be more of a hindrance than a help. Oh, a crafter. My apologies, but I'm more inclined to gathering what bounty the earth has to offer. I leave it to others to mold said bounty into what they will. I'd love to introduce you to someone who might be of help, but I'm afraid my work here is endless. I know the dragonette you speak of. I've seen her flitting about House Halenard from time to time. Quite the inquisitive one, if I recall. So she wants to learn the fine art of crafting, does she? Well, I've heard strange things in my time, but few as bizarre as that. I'm sure I'd kick myself later if I passed up this opportunity, so I reckon I could find time between projects to teach her a thing or two. Tell her I'll speak to her when I've finished up here, will you? Oh, okay, so it wasn't who I thought. I just imagined that they'd link the two, like the previous quests with the current ones. Especially with him being a crafter. I mean, it's not to say that he can't come back. How goes your search for our future mentor? Ah, the hero has returned. So, have you found my teacher? Whose sharp eye and steady hand will guide me on the path to mastery? Ah, such great expectations I must meet. While I assure you my hand is steady, the sharpness of my eye is very much a matter of conjecture. Nevertheless, if it is crafting you wish to learn, I'm your man. Although I can't say I've ever had the honour of teaching a dragon before. Any road, I'm Arvide, at your service. I'm here in the firmament on assignment from the Sky Steel Manufacturing. And I dare say I have a few nuggets of wisdom knocking around in my head that are worth passing around. It's the young who must shoulder the burden of building the future after all. Now crafters come in all sorts, from cooks to weavers to smiths. Have you given any thought to what you want to focus on? Thought to where you want to focus your energies? Focus? Well, I don't know. Can't I learn everything? Tell us, Alexander, where should an aspiring artisan begin? Oh God, be it baking a cake or raising a cattle, one must look first to their tools. Even the simplest project must start with quality materials. Why bother learning when you can just copy others? But yeah, the most important thing to start with is your tools, because you can't really get... You can have the most skill in the world, but if you've got, like, rusty tools that'll break from the first tap, you're not going to get anywhere. Ah, spoken like a true professional. 'Tis true that an essential part of any project is selecting the right tools for the job. However, there's a step that comes even before that. But now, let's start with the tools required to gather our own materials. Once you have the right equipment and supplies, there's nothing you can't make with enough elbow grease. Wait, so you just said the step before tools is tools? Oh, how splendid! It is to have a guide. Oh, how splendid it is to have a guiding hand. There's no telling how long it would have taken Hordalong and I to decide where to begin, had we been left to our own devices. Very well, gathering is where we shall pour our utmost efforts. Mayhap when I'm a seasoned artisan in my own right, I'll take it upon myself to teach my kin, as I was taught. Now wouldn't that be a sight to see? I dare say there has never been a dragon who has learned a trade, let alone one who's passed such skills on to the next generation. Indeed! You may be correct on that count. The other dragons will be flabbergasted by the wonders I create. Of course, I don't plan on taking all the credit. It seems to me that mankind's most culturally significant works are those that result from collaboration, of people working together to make something greater than they could have alone. To that end, I must study and learn from the works of others, and even though you are too busy with your heroics to teach me daily, I would much appreciate if you could come by from time to time and offer what knowledge you can. Magnificent! I knew your generosity would match your greatness, the greatness of your deeds. Well then, let's get your education started off on the right foot, eh? You can spy tradesmen of all sorts plying their trade at the new nest. I reckon you could certainly do worse than learn a couple of tricks from them. Ah, the place is practically a second home to young Hordalong and I. Allow me to lead the way. I remember going to the new nest with Master Marcelo when I first arrived in the city. Who's that? Is she here to help us? This here is Anna, and we have her and the House of Splendors to thank for supplying the firmament with quality materials at incredibly low prices. Suspiciously low, in fact. Are you implying that there's some ulterior motive behind our generosity? Well, certainly not. I'm here at the behest of my organization to aid Ishgard in its fledgling days as an allied nation. We are driven by as much philanthropy as we are by profit, I can assure you. And the quicker the country gets up to speed and starts making money, the more coin can be spent on you in the future. Excuse me, miss, but are you a craftswoman by any chance? I'm afraid, my adorable little dragonette, that my hands are entirely too clumsy to make aught aside from my morning tea. The 12 have seen fit to bless me with a sharp mind for trade, however, and so here I am. And that's precisely why we've come. has in her head to learn a trade or two, and we are here to set her on the right path. To that end, I would ask you to provide us with materials, and perhaps any counsel you might afford a young novice. It would be my pleasure. Perhaps in return she could tell me about the rarities and relics dragons keep in their lairs. I sense a once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity has come before me. And if business in the firmament grows as much as my intuition says it will, this might just be what I require to turn a stream of gil into a veritable flood of riches. Consider me at your complete disposal. Say the word and I shall procure whatever you may need. How generous of you. You have my thanks, Miss Anna. Anything to foster the next generation of builders and tinkerers, my boy. As for the current generation, well, I suppose the house could bear to part with a few scripts in return for guiding our dragonette friend on her journey to mastery. We can't say no to an offer like that, can we? Well then, now that we're all acquainted, let's head back to St. Royal's Dais. At last, a reverse of fortunes. These days spent in numbing cold hawking trinkets for a pittance won't have been for naught. Just a little longer. Damn it! There, we did it. Only took longer than it would have to walk around. That Anna's quite a shrewd businesswoman, but she's true to her word, I know that much. With you and Arvide at her side, I'm sure Elto's dream will become a reality. With Master Arvide and Master Alexander guiding us, I'm sure we'll be raising fortresses and forging dazzling suits of armor in no time at all. Let's keep our ambitions manageable for the time being, shall we? Our first task is the construction of tools that'll fit snugly in those claws of yours. Alexander, I trust you can help with that. In the meantime, I've work of my own to attend to. If there's aught you need, you know where I am. Before I depart, however, I will leave you with an assignment. Inspect everything Alexander does with diligence. A discerning eye is a tool that will outlast all others. Yeah. Yes, Master Arvide. We'll give Alexander's work the thrice over. Oh, crafter, my crafter. Allion? A sumptuous serving of delectable mussels smothered in an oily garlic sauce, each one a perfectly bite-sized burst of flavour, and arroz negre. Though the squid ink makes for an unusual appearance, its contribution to this dish's flavour profile is undeniable. It blends with several herbs and spices to complement the buttery mussels and a hearty rice for an immensely satisfying culinary experience. Quest complete. Custom deliveries unlocked for Elto. Yay! Even the most masterful works of crafting are a common sight to us who grew up in Ishgard, but to a dragon, I imagine even a hawker's stall is something to behold. Would that I could see the world from their eyes. Here to help us make a tool fit for dragons? Items. Yeah. Standard. Level 70 or above. If you're at level 79 and below, you'll get experience instead of white scripts. Yep, we know all of this. Right, so. I think I'm going to split this into a separate video because I know that like a little bit of story comes from like leveling up. At least I think so. So I guess with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.